Oh boy, another one, huh? So I really like how these kickbacks look, because there's not a lot of nails sticking out. It's really great for preventing possible ball damage sections, but we seem to have a lot that just kind of randomly fall off. So if I sound a little weird, it's because I'm wearing a dust mask, you know, PPE, personal protective equipment. I sanded this down. This was a gently used kickback plate with an orbital sander. We're gonna set up and do the sidewall next. I would recommend addressing issues like these as soon as possible. We had one that fell off a couple months ago, and the pins, this is a little bitty spot, but we had one that opened up a little bit bigger, and it wasn't very deep, but we ended up sanding it down, sticking our kickback plate back on, and after a couple months this little chunk started to crack. So definitely take care of them sooner rather than later. Yeah, my dust cover fell off, you bitch. Not like it was really doing anything. That looks pretty good. Nice and smooth. There are going to be some rough spots in here, some surface scarring, but that's not bad overall, right? That should be just fine. I went up a little bit above and beyond and hit some of the darker scuffs and stuff too. We do have some old nails here that have broken off. I don't think we can extract them, but what we can do, we'll take a hammer and we will flatten those down. So we're going to use the sander. We're just going to hit it real quick because we've got a glue seam here. We might have some high spots, some residue. We want to make this as flat as possible for our new kickback plate. There is a little ridge right there, right? We need to take that off. So it's going to be loud, it's going to be dusty, but I'm going to take this little guy and just go all the way around. We're also going to take the time to shop vac all of our dust up in here too. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wipe the surface down with a little bit of lacquer thinner. We're going to go over with a dry rag first, get the majority of it off, then again with some lacquer thinner. Same for the kickback panel over there. It's been sanded, but it needs a good wipe down and clean before the glue is applied. So let's grab our trusty shop vac. I'm going to grab a drill and some drill bits also, because when I glue this on, I'm going to be adding some nails in it as well. Cart cam! It was easier than trying to make a couple of trips, huh? We're working over here on 27, but I think we're gonna just go down the side aisle here and park next to lane 25. So we got everything kind of preliminarily vacuumed off, and we need to remove these two metal high spots right there. There's one. Scooch on to the back. It's a little dark in here. Right there. So we're just going to hit it with a little bit of a microfiber rag just to knock all the big debris off. And then, shaky cam. I'm zoomed in a little close too, but that's okay. It's like 6:30 in the morning, so coffee hasn't really kicked in yet. So one wipe down, dry rag. Next wipe down is going to be wet rag with lacquer thinner. Just on a side note here, if you see the eco green leaf on there, on your can, it's you know, eco-friendly. It's not 100% lacquer thinner. It's probably like lacquer thinner with some acetone mixed into it. It doesn't work as good. Will it work? Yeah, not as good. So we're gonna wipe it down. Oh no, that was bad. Clean it. Make sure it's absolutely clean, clean, clean. I'm not worried about the gutters yet. We will hit that on final cleanup. Flip the rag and do it one more time. Looking pretty good there. Same thing for the kickback plate, the panel board. Give it a good wipe down. Let it dry. All right, she's all done here. What we need to do, we need to go to the kitchen and see if we can find some cardboard. Like this. Yes, this is perfect. Let's take 2 boxes. Come on. Ah, they're all stuck together. So we find the seam and we open it up. Okay, this one's going to be for our kickback plate. The next one we're going to unfold and lay in the flat gutter. Now we've got an adequate area we can spread some glue out. I mean, we will need to be careful we don't leak down here in these little cracks, but we don't have to be quite as careful now that we have some a barrier between us and the lane surface. I recommend only using this Weldwood DAP brand Weldwood contact cement in the red can. Don't get the green can. It's low VOC, eco-friendly, and it doesn't work very well. I've also heard really good things about a 3M product. I've never used it, so, but I hear good things about it. By the way, this is known to the state of Cancer to cause California, so you probably aren't going to find it in California. So, big old paintbrush. We don't want to go super thick. We don't need to pool it or puddle it on, but we want a fairly thick, even coat. I am going to stop here and do the rest of this off camera. So she's all coated. Can you see, nice and shiny? This is coat 1. We're gonna do 2 coats. So we're gonna coat this, we're gonna coat that, we're gonna give it a half an hour to dry. I'm gonna carry on about my other normal morning opening tasks, checklists, and duties. And in a half an hour, we'll come recoat it again. And then we'll wait another half an hour. And then we'll bond everything together. So we're gonna skip coat 2. Kind of irrelevant. We know one thin coat, dry, repeat, then bond your pieces together. So, you might ask yourself, well, where do I stop putting the glue? At this line, right? You can see where the old kickback plate used to be. You don't really need to paint much beyond that. Try to avoid getting like all the way up here or like all the way out here. Don't need it. Just like that, through the magic of hitting the stop button, we're done. It's kind of awkward trying to paint a wall laying on your side, so just take that into account too. So let's take this opportunity to clear up anything we might not need. We're probably done with the lacquer thinner. Well, I don't know, let's keep that around. If we have any drips, we can clean that up, but we probably don't need our orbital sander, our drop cord, shot vac we're probably done with. So clean as you go, it'll make things a little easier. All right, so we're taking a break from our normal morning walkthrough activities. Before we begin coat number 2, perhaps we should explain why we do 2 coats. So you can see kind of how you have a sheen here. This is good. This is adequate glue, but only in this area. Look down a little bit low. You see how it's still dull here? Our wooden material has absorbed a lot of the glue. So this is insufficient here, even though this is correct. So a second coat is going to ensure a nice even coverage and perfect bonding or adhesion. The same thing goes with the kickback panel itself. You can see how we have some nice even shine and some dull spots. So a second coat is really going to help even everything out. Because again, we want as flat and even of a surface as we can, and uniformly even. That way we get good adhesion when we bond these 2 parts together. So coat number 2 is going to go on both surfaces, and then we'll pick it back up when we install our kickback panel. Well, we're waiting for the glue to dry. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at this. This drill bit is just a tiny bit smaller than 1/8 diameter, and I've got it kind of choked up in the chuck to be a little shorter than the nail. It's going to be important because we don't want the nail to just fully go into a pilot void, right? We want a little bit of this to bite into the wood. So this should be plenty. Plus, we're going to countersink our kickback plate also. Correction on this drill bit size. I said 1/8. It's slightly smaller than 1/16. We're going to use a bigger one. We're going to run this one in reverse for our countersink. This one needs to be ever so slightly larger than the head of our fastener. Kind of like that, so that when we do our countersink, we can actually get the head of this fastener below the surface of the kickback plate. This might be a better angle to show. I dropped it, hold on. The difference between our screw and the length that we're going to drill. Just a little bit, right? Because we're going to countersink it, and the head of that screw is going to be, or pardon me, the head of the nail. You could use a screw if you wanted to. I just happen to have a whole boatload of these panel board nails kicking around for the last 10 years. But that's as far as we're going to drill. Kind of stalling for time here. That second coat is taking a little bit longer to set up. I'm itching to get this back up, but we're being held up by some dry time delays here. I believe that we are ready to go. We have been waiting ever so patiently for this contact cement to cure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift this thing up. I'm going to line the back edge of our plate with the back edge of the rear kickback plate. And I'm also going to match the height. I don't have my camera mount with me, so we're just going to kind of talk through it real quick. I won't be able to really demonstrate it. And then we're just going to kind of roll it on and smack the bejesus out of it to set our contact cement. And then after that, we'll drill a couple of not screw holes. We're using nails, but we'll drill a couple of nail holes on the corners as some extra reinforcement. Maybe we'll replace those as well in the middle. I think that's going to be a good plan. All right, she's up there. So we're gonna add nails here, probably top corner. I'm not sure about that bottom corner, but we should probably do top, middle, and bottom on the rear side. Something kind of like this. So we've got all of our screw holes drilled. Now we're gonna go ahead and countersink everything. Got a bit here, we're gonna run it in reverse. Let's do this one first. Nah, music, oh no. That might be enough. Something like that. Maybe we'll go a little bit more, but we don't have to go much. And then we're gonna just tappy tap them all in. I'm gonna do one on camera, but in real life, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am gonna take a punch. You can't see here in the shadows. I'm gonna take a punch, and with my other hand, we're going to recess that head of that nail into our recess that we've made. I can't do it on camera because I need 2 hands. Just like that. Perfect. This looks really good. Nicely done. They're all in there, they're all countersunk, they're all recessed. Let's call this project done-ish, because we still got to clean up. We still got to wipe down our flat gutter, our rear kickback plate, and our transport band. But damn, she's all back up. She's not going to come off again anytime soon. So this is mission accomplished here. Oh man, I almost forgot. She's not going anywhere.